Namaste. It is a pleasure to be here for my friend, Assemblyman Upendra Chivukula, as he runs for the Congress of the United States. And I'm thrilled to see the forum come together in support of his candidacy and in promoting the next wave of participation of a great community here in New Jersey and in the country that has contributed so much to our state and to the nation. Dr. Parikh mentioned the many assets that this community has. For America to be the global leader in innovation, to a large degree it depends upon this community, with its scientists and technologists and those who have the ability to help America continue to be a leader in innovation. For your children who excel in the elements that we most need as a country, in science, technology, and mathematics. In your participation, your faith, your love of family and country. All of these things come together as a community that now seeks to move into a new opportunity, which is to have a voice in the highest offices in the land, the United States Congress. And that hope rides on the shoulders of someone who has been an exceptional public servant here in New Jersey. Someone who for a decade in the New Jersey legislature has been a leader within his own colleagues that recognize his leadership and gave him the auspicious position of Deputy Speaker of the New Jersey Assembly, not something that is given to too many. Someone who was made the chairman of a committee, and not everyone gets to be the chairman of a committee, but not just any committee, certainly in the field of telecommunications and science that will help New Jersey continue to move ahead and prosper and be a leader within the country as that state seeks to be part of our national leadership and innovation. Upendra Chivukula has been far more than just a representative of the Indian American community. He has been a representative of all of the community, and we celebrate his leadership and his service to our state and our country. Now, I know something about what it takes to be a member of the United States House of Representatives. I served in the House of Representatives for 14 years before I had the ability to go to the United States Senate. I rose to be the chairman of the Democratic Caucus, the third-ranking Democrat in the House of Representatives. I presided over the meetings of all of our members. I listened to their voices on the different issues that came before us on the major challenges the country had. And I know what it takes. It takes intellect, it takes commitment, it takes passion, and it takes being rooted in the people that you seek to serve. And all of those assets are possessed by Upendra Chivukula, who would be a fantastic member of the House of Representatives from the 7th Congressional District. Now, I will say that as someone who is sharing the ballot with Upendra, because I am running for re-election to the United States Senate, that I know what it takes to have an ally, someone who can be a partner in our work, someone who will vote for progress, not for partisanship, someone who will help move the country forward, not seeking to fail in order to achieve political success. Over the last several years, we have faced an enormous challenge. This is a country that in September of 2008 was on the verge not of a great recession but a new depression. Large financial institutions had made major decisions that ultimately went bad, and those decisions caused the possibility of the whole nation economy to collapse. I'll never forget a meeting that I was called to by the chairman of the Federal Reserve, which is in essence the central bank of the United States, Chairman Bernanke, and the Secretary of the Treasury under President Bush, Secretary Paulson, in which they outlined a series of financial institutions that were on the verge of collapse, and they said if they collapse, they will create systemic risk to the entire country's economy, and every American will feel the consequences of it. And the room was pretty hushed. And then they outlined a series of actions they wanted us to take in the Congress to be able to avoid that collapse. And I remember getting to be one of the first members to ask a question, and I asked Chairman Bernanke, I said, Mr. Chairman, surely you must have enough monetary tools at the Federal Reserve to get us through this period of time, because the scope, the size, and the immediacy that you are asking us to act with is unprecedented. And he looked at me and he said the most chilling thing I have heard in 38 years of public service. He looked at me and said, Senator, with all due respect, if you or your colleagues do not act in the next 2 weeks, we will have, his words, not mine, a global financial meltdown. And the room was aghast. And I said to him, a global financial meltdown, that would mean a new depression. And he said, if we allow it to happen, that's what it will mean. Markets will pancake across the globe, there'll be a run on the banks, and we will have a depression far beyond what the nation lived under President Roosevelt. That was September of 2008. Before we had an election for president in November of 2008. Before Barack Obama took the oath of office in late January of 2009. So we had lost 4 million jobs over the course of 2007 and 2008. Unemployment was already at 7.4% in January of 2009. We had all these financial institutions on the verge of collapse. We almost lost the American auto industry, and we were in 2 wars abroad in Iraq and Afghanistan, totally unpaid for, putting it on the next generation of Americans. This is the great challenge that we inherited in January of 2009. It is from that challenge, with negative GDP growth, millions of jobs lost, that we have come back. Now, we have a lot more work to do, but we cannot move the nation forward if we do not have people in Congress who are willing to reach across the aisle, people in Congress who are willing to see progress instead of paralysis, people in Congress who are willing to put the nation above their partisanship. And that's why this election for the presidency of the United States, for the United States Senate, and for the members of the House of Representatives is going to dictate which road we take. How do we move forward as a country? Can we once again realize our hopes and dreams and aspirations? Because the reality of the moment does not have to be our future. And so when we choose, we have real consequences in elections. Now, Upendra would be the type of person to reach out across the aisle because he wants to achieve progress, not paralysis. He wants to gain prosperity, not partisanship. That doesn't mean that he won't be a good Democrat, but by the same token, he understands how to get things done. He has been able to do that in the New Jersey legislature. Now, we cannot simply hope that Upendra will win. After 38 years in public life, I was a school board member, a mayor, a state assemblyman, a state senator, a member of the House of Representatives, now one of 100 senators in the United States Senate. It does not simply happen because you hope for it or want it. It happens because you are willing to fight for it, to work for it, to ultimately speak to your neighbors and friends and those who you worship with and those who you do business with and those who are your families, and to say we have a historic opportunity to send someone who can make a difference in our community and in the country to the United States Congress, and that's Upendra Chivukula. Now, some people may wonder, is it possible? Is it possible? When I was growing up poor, in a tenement in Union City, the first in my family to go to college and then go to law school. If you were to ask me at that time in my life, would it be possible to be one of 100 United States senators in a country of 308 million people? I would have said, probably not. But that is the promise of America fulfilled. It is a promise we must fight to keep true for future generations of Americans. It is a promise we can keep true if we come together, not just tonight, but come together as a community to ultimately send one of our own. And when I say one of our own, I go far beyond the Indian American community, because Upendra has shown himself to be one of those individuals for all. So I will close with this. If you are willing to put your sacrifice, if you are willing to put your collective ability, which is enormous, if you come together as a community, if you are willing to help him financially as you are doing tonight, if you use the technology that is your bastion of knowledge on behalf of his candidacy, then we can make history. Many times, I should say very few times in life, do you ever have the chance to change the course of events and make history. But I am always reminded by that phrase, some men see things the way they are and ask, why not? I dream things that never were and ask, why not? Why not having Upendra Chivukula in the Congress of the United States? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking forward to having Upendra as my colleague in Washington, and with your help,